you see me? How much can you see me? Can I move?
No, I feel like.
You know you're not feeling that.
Well, now it's the
You've been
tone
on
for
the ball
this
there.
lesson.
They just watched me eat a whole pickle in 4 seconds.
They did. Yeah.
So now you're not eating, let's move.
All right, how we doing?
Great. Good
Great.
to see you.
Yeah? Are you excited?
Mm-hmm.
You should be, because you know I'm gonna make you get up and do stuff. Hopefully I don't have to make you. You'll just willingly want to do it and participate. You don't have to sit in that chair for the next hour. Yeah? Yeah?
Give me a raise. We got it.
All right, so the end of last week you had an assignment. It was a communication survey. Did everyone finish it?
First.
No.
I did not.
I did not.
finish
No.
it. I'm sorry.
I did.
That's okay. I'll give you a couple minutes now. If you go to page 25 in your guides, you'll see the survey, and you're gonna fill this out based off of you. Okay, this is all about you. When you're done, you can add it up at the bottom. Don't tell anyone your score. I don't wanna know your score. But when you're all done, put your pencils down and then we'll go over it. Okay, so I'll give you a couple minutes to do that quick.
So that was our homework?
From last week.
Looks like I did it already. I was wrong.
We did it somewhere.
Yeah, I know. Somewhere in the vacuum of time we did it.
Participants got it.
Page 25.
I think Bonnie was having us do it.
Also, question number 2 might be missed scores, but maybe I'm just
I agree.
not good at it.
One.
It says, when I write a memo, email, or other document, I give all of the background information and detail I can to make sure that message is understood. Very often is 1, not as often as 5.
Yeah, I think they want me to not use email. That's what I got out of it.
So that's one thing I want to ask Bonnie about, because in my lesson 6, there's a page and a half.
So if you get an email,
It's 3 dots, seems inconsistent.
Right.
if I'm sending you an email,
Yeah.
and now you open it up and you look at this thing and you're scrolling through pages and pages and pages as a recap of my week to you. You think you're gonna make it through it? Are you gonna read it word for word? Are you gonna take all of it in? Pages and pages,
I
and me
understand.
going through every detail of every piece of background.
I think my confusion is from the flip side of that is getting a return email that says, what is the context of the email?
Okay, so do you think, so is there such thing as too much information?
I need to know the size of the
Then
background.
3 should, but then sometimes it should be a 5.
Really?
Yeah, because if the background is more than a page, then I get it. But if the background is like a fuller, more detailed email and painting me a picture, I feel good about that. Just keep it on one page.
Either way, I'm just unsure.
Just a couple of pages is it's a little tough.
Yeah, usually mine would end with, if you gave me a whole email like that, it would end with me Vin.
Yeah. In these 2 things.
Yep.
Vin mileage.
Me Vin.
All right, are we all done?
Yes.
All right, so, looking at the scoring interpretation of it, okay, and again, I don't want to know how you scored, okay? Turn your pages 1, it'll be on the next, should be on 26. 27. No, go back the other way.
There's no score yet. The score isn't associated.
Oh, I apologize, that was some of those. Okay, so who scored anywhere between a 15 and 35?
You're supposed to answer.
Yeah. No one? 36 and 36 and 56. Just Donnie?
No, I did.
Oh, you two, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand. And then you two had 56 and above?
Apparently,
56.
Okay.
but it depends on how many schools.
All right, so for a 36 to 56, you are a capable communicator, but you sometimes experience communication problems. Take the time to think about your approach to communication and focus on how to receive messages effectively as much as sending them. This will help you to improve. Do you feel that's accurate?
I want to be an excellent, but the scoring shows otherwise.
Do you think the scoring is accurate?
Well, the 2 and the 8 are what I'm struggling with, because I feel that it's a good thing to give background information. And when I finish a memo or a report or email, I scan it quickly for typos, so forth, and then send it off right away. I think checking up on your work is great. If you do that very often, it's a 1. So that kind of goes against you.
I think sometimes if an email or memo or text is sent off right away, sometimes it's in haste and you wish you could retract the statement.
So someone made the comment earlier that, you know, we're going through something and I'm talking or I'm listening and I don't take it all in right away, and then, you know, as soon as I walk out the door, there it was. Something I should have asked, something I should have said, something I should have done. So do you think you could feel that way through email as well? There's something you could have clarified on, there was something you could have put in there, there was something you could have worded
Something you might have missed.
differently. And maybe that would, if you gave it a minute to
I
kind
got,
of reflect.
I got a 5 on that one, only because whenever I have a serious email I have to write, like a real in-depth one, I'll always save it, and then I'll do it later that day or the next day or something.
Also, send it off right away.
The message I got in that is quickly.
Yeah.
So that's emphasis again.
Yeah.
You can emphasize right away and then go, oh, well, that's a bad thing, you know.
Even an emotional
Yeah.
email, you don't want to send off right away. I usually wait a day and sometimes I find myself deleting it.
Test,
I think I-
reputation.
I think I was thinking of texting you this morning on my way to work, but I was driving. And then also my daughter, who gives me the paragraph, and I read it off. And then I check it, and then I gotta send it right away. So that whole,
Yeah.
the dynamic of, okay, she needs it, the class is about ready to start. Okay, she's probably driving right now.
I'm using
It's
Apple
so true. I
CarPlay and
still
it's not
think
gonna
I'm a
wait for
one.
me to think this text might be over, I have to send it.
Yeah.
But you see, like Mo said, it's kind of interpretation, how did you interpret that question?
Yeah.
But also how, you know, what is your work ethic, what is your style? Like Wes said, if it's something that's emotional, he'll wait, and a lot of times he won't even send it afterwards. You know, we get so caught up in the heat of the moment that we let that passion take over our emotions, and maybe we're saying something that may be real to us in that moment, but it's not our overall opinion. You know what I mean? All right, so 56 to 75, you guys were rated excellent. You understand your role as a communicator, both when you send and receive messages. You anticipate problems and you choose the right way to communicate. People respect you for your ability to communicate clearly, and they appreciate your listening skills. Accurate?
I just put a note that I'd rather work from the 56 and below.
Why?
Because I don't, maybe I'm being self-critical, but I don't feel like I'm an excellent communicator.
What do you feel then?
I feel like I'm a good communicator, but I could use some more, but I appeal more to the explanation on the 56 and below.
So what would be your interpretation of an excellent communicator? What is that? What are those qualities? What are those characteristics?
I don't know, I mean, I guess it's about transparency and listening and having dialogue and all of those different things. I don't know, that's not really, I don't know.
Maybe it was a pretty high standard for yourself, as far as getting better.
Do you think there's one you lack more than the other? Or
Listening,
listening?
yeah, I've had to, in the past couple of years, train my active listening, but
That was also a big thing for me too. because unfortunately I like to talk.
You and I.
So Donnie, you talk, and Noah, you actively listen for the next week.
Oh, yeah, we're a perfect team.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to Hamburg.
It's like they just talk and I just go.
No, just listen.
Trying to say.
For everybody, you think it's accurate? Are you?
Oh, I'm borderline, so I can go on the number. And so I can't, in all honesty, say I'm excellent because I didn't understand the 17 types of questions or however many there were. I mean, I didn't realize there's so many different ones and how lets our questions choose the impressions other people give. So for that alone, I can't say I'm excellent because I didn't really comprehend that. Or I've never really seen it before.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Noah,
Yes.
you said some of your downfalls. One consisted of active listening.
That's the main one, yeah.
Okay,
The one.
The one?
For me,
how does this thing work?
I don't know much about expressing myself.
You just gotta push it up hard.
Push it up.
Yeah. Without pulling, yeah, it's just gonna click in. Oh, yeah. Ridiculous.
All right, so building communications. Building communication, okay, consists of these three. Your words, your body language, and your tone of voice. Okay? Some make it more difficult to do than others. Sending your email. That one question we just talked about. I've sent a million text messages and I get the emojis with the angry face. I get the ones with the sad face, and I am the complete opposite in that expression. That's not how it's perceived. Same way with you guys looking at these questions. You said it, Noah. You took, it's all how you read it. You know, some people do it, get it done, get it out, quick, it was fast, I read over it, if it was accurate for me, I'm done. And then your emotion one. I need to write it, I need to let it sit there, I need to ponder it. Is this really what I want to send? Is this really what I want to say? So, and of 100%, and these are not color-coded, by the way, which piece of the pie do you feel is how we communicate through our words, which is through body language, and which is through tone of voice?
I think the words are green.
Okay? What about the rest?
I think the body language is the blue big one.
What do you think body language is?
Why?
Hmm?
Because when it comes to communication, before they say anything, you can see it.
So it's face-to-face communication, some people think is the most difficult because it's hard for us to hide our emotions. I can sit on the phone or I can hide behind an email and I can tell you that this is an amazing idea or this is a horrible idea, I hate this, I love this. But if I'm sitting there and I'm looking at you and I have that eye contact, I'm looking in your eyes, are you going to be able, do you think, tell whether or not I love something or hate something? It's really hard to hide our emotions with our expressions, as with an email and a text message. It can be misconstrued, it can be whatever basically the reader wants it to be. So that leaves tone of voice for this little piece over here. So now out of 100%, what percentage do you think this is? What about body language? What percent?
According to that pie, it looks like it's 60, and I think it's, it looks like it's 60, but it really,
Okay.
I think
So
I
what
know
about-
that it's a
Don't criticize my drawing.
higher one.
What about tone of voice?
Which one?
Tone of voice.
Tone of voice. No.
Okay.
No,
You cannot.
this high, and we go.
So you're very close. So,
First of all, great use of the.
Do you like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that a
And now
lot.
another
I-
layer, it's like Scooby-Doo.
ready?
I
Yeah,
was
it's gonna
thinking
keep
about
going,
it.
so we're gonna put back another layer of this.
Really?
So-
Are you serious?
In reality.
Oh my gosh, I feel so awesome right now. I'm in the drugstore.
I love office supplies.
We need a trophy.
Ton of boys.
I'm with you, I really like that. So close.
So your words.
Oh, that's like weird.
So very close. Very close.
Colorful. Yeah, I love
Makes me want to stare at it all. Look at it. Look how happy you are, Noah. He cannot lie. He cannot hide that expression. He cannot hide that expression from me
it.
right
I was waiting
now.
for Wes about the different colored markers,
Oh,
that like right there, bam!
It's great,
Oh.
that's great.
Well, fantastic. Now that I got you all excited,
It's like a little lasagna for me right there.
you what?
A plate of lasagna, sorry.
All right, Garfield.
I don't get it. I don't get what he's saying. All right. So, building communication. How do we do this? And what happens if a piece of it's missing? Do you think you need all three to be effective?
I think we need all three to be effective, only because of the, different perceptions that a person might have, the way people, we're all unique and amazing. So,
And how are you gonna figure out which one to utilize with which person?
well, I'm also thinking that if body language is really good, but your tone is off, it might not matter what your words are. Or if your words are really, really great, but your body language isn't, then you probably don't have an opportunity.
And ironically, you would think the words would be most important, but you could sit and say all the wrong words and still communicate according to this chart.
Right. But all three probably have to be important.
So I could sit here and say, tell me you do great. Does it make you feel great?
Well, I
I
feel
could sit here and
great.
say, Noah, I don't like you.
I'm so cool with it.
You're so happy right
It's
now.
fine, amen.
But my little jump, my tone, it overpowered my
Body
words.
language is 55%.
Yeah.
It overpowered my words. Me
Are you
being down in
sure?
the dumps and, ooh, what is the word? Oogie, oogly. Oh,
It all
But
means something.
it kind of took away, what is it?
Oogie.
Oogie. It took away the greatness behind my words. So, we're gonna play a game. Okay? You ready? So, this is going to be obviously building your communication, and what better way to build than with
Blocks.
clothes? What else? Dig into your little, dig into your 7, 8, 9-year-old 10 boy selves. What else do you guys build?
Trust. Yeah, I'm building trust.
Legos!
That was a G.I. Joe.
Legos! So, I will be completely transparent and honest about it. One is already built and I did not build it. I had another guy back at Hamburg build it for me. I just felt it was suiting for the four of you because I would really build some princess crown. I don't know. But you're all gonna have your little roles to do in part of this, okay? So I don't want you to see what they are. I just want you to take them.
Uh-oh. You guys grab one, right? Okay.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, before you fix them, it's fine.
Yes. I'm finding a
All
much
right.
more literal.
So who is my director?
Me.
So out here at one of these tables, I have my little Lego sitting there all built and ready for you. It's hidden behind a book. keep it behind that book,
Okay.
okay? Just so there's no confusion when this is going on, because I've seen it happen before, there's little instructions to your role underneath.
Okay, with the instructions, can I draw?
You don't have to draw, it's already
Only-
there.
I know.
No, only voice,
Okay.
okay?
Verbal.
Verbal. And who's my runner?
Me,
Oh, yay!
you're a good hands.
And what's your job?
My job is to listen to the director's instructions and then run or walk to the builder and communicate those instructions.
And who's my builder?
I'm the alley.
You're the builder. So, what is your job?
My job is to receive instructions from the runner, use the second set of letters, I guess it's this, builds their interpretation of the object based off instructions runner may not see.
So, he's going to tell you, or give you a set of instructions, build it the way you interpret it,
Okay.
you cannot let him see it.
Okay.
So we'll make sure, we'll probably turn you this way and put a book in front of you too, so if no one comes over here, you can't see it.
Okay.
Split those in half, those are one set, 'cause we only did it with one set.
Are you
So
sure
there's
they're the
double
same?
everything.
No, mine are different than his.
Are they all different? Then never mind, I'll
You're
give you
the
mine,
leader
they're
of
sorry.
the pack.
I'm sorry, I thought they were all the same, and you
But
already know that.
if I go look at it, I can tell you if it's the same piece. And it doesn't matter, because I'm not gonna tell.
It's okay, this is But if you wanna go sit out there a while and take a look, see how you're going to explain it. This is time, you have 5 minutes.
You can't see it.
That's what happens when I,
okay, 5 minutes with direction.
he is.
Donnie
Yay.
is our timekeeper, but Donnie, I have another job for you as well.
That's good, that's.
I need you to be my observer, and I'm actually gonna make you play the double role. Okay, usually we have
I'm having fun.
2 observers, one would watch the runner with the director, and one would watch the runner with the builder.
Right.
But,
I
since we're
get
so
that.
small, I want you to do both for me. And I think you're a great person to do it, to be able to see both sides of it
Yes.
and interpret it. And if you actually look here,
Uh-huh.
it's up to you if you want to take it with you. But I don't care if you use 2 different pens to be able to tell the difference in which one you do. I have
So where's your
nothing.
workstation?
For the.
So you have to do it, what is your
You wanna
opinion of these?
bring me over?
Runner, and then what do you see?
Here. With the donut box.
You guys have a shoe?
You have to take a bite every time you do that.
The food runner.
Yes.
Thank
And,
you.
Right.
the time, can I do the time right
The
here?
door is not
Good,
working.
That's
Look
fine.
at it every time we come in.
Huh?
We put it here so that we can kind of have a couple of eyes on it.
What I want you to do is,
May I ask clarifying questions to the
no, you may not.
director?
Wait, to the director?
Yes, if he's explaining something to me, can I ask clarifying questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think this one. Oh, this one that you don't. No, it's the next one. You can ask Claire. It's not
I
here.
cannot.
So am I taking?
Runner cannot speak,
You cannot
Oh, okay,
speak.
that's
First
right.
go.
I must
To
speak to
them,
him.
you cannot,
cannot
To
speak.
me.
the only one you
You
can
only
speak to is the builder. And that's
That's
telling
not-
him
yeah, that's
whatever the
I
director
wasn't
says.
telling, it was clarified. I'm only allowed to speak to him.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm only an observer.
You're only an observer and the timekeeper.
And the time you want me to keep there?
So, yes, but when you come in here, I want you to let them know when there's 1 minute left. They're not done. Can you do that for me? Just make sure you let them know. I'm just timekeeper.
Yep, for this.
All right, you ready?
Huh? Yeah, get hydrated.
I'll let you know when I'm starting.
Just in case I forget my role.
All right, Donnie, ready?
I'm ready when you are.
Ready? Noah, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ready? He's ready. Go!
Started.
It's gonna be fun to do with the kids.
Absolutely.
I was gonna try to imagine what she created, but there's no way to imagine it. The possibility that
Yeah, they're endless, right?
Hmm?
They're endless.
actually 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2. Seems like a lot.
Okay,
Okay.
there's a pink piece that's 4 long and has a 45-degree angle
Yes.
slope on it. Face the slope towards yourself.
Okay.
There is a 6 long piece of green and black.
Yep.
The same piece.
Yep.
Green goes on the left, black goes on the right, the pink sits atop them. So I believe
The green goes on the left, facing me, my left.
the builder's left.
Okay.
I think
Black's
the
on the right.
green is the builder's left, the black is on the right, and then the pink piece sits atop them with the slope facing yourself.
Is it sort of all the way on the end or is it back some?
Stop. You can't talk to him.
I wasn't allowed to ask, so I don't know.
Okay.
It's so funny watching Donnie chase him.
What is that?
Donnie's like, I'm coming, chasing Noah down.
Directly behind the pink piece, 2 in from your right, should be a single pink piece. I don't know if that clarifies.
Directly behind the
Nope.
pink.
I can repeat exactly what I said. You have your pink piece sloping towards you, directly behind said pink piece, attached to, I guess that would be the black piece. Second one in is an individual pink piece,
Okay.
which means you may have to slide the slope forward if it was previously on the back end. That's all I got so far.
It's hard not to ask.
Okay, you have an 8x8 blue flat piece. That covers up the remainder of the green and black piece. Half of it's going to hang off, half of it's going to be covered. So you should be able to place, okay, the way I'm visualizing this now is it's going to be pink slope piece. Underneath pink slope piece is green and black. There's a pink. And then you should be able to overlay that blue piece onto the last 4. It says the last 4 pegs of both the black and green. Underneath the black side, so where it correlates to black, on your right side, underneath there's a yellow piece that you need to place underneath that back quadrant of the right that hangs over. Either that, or, I don't know what the shape of the yellow piece is, but if you were to turn the yellow piece, if it would cover up the entirety of the hanging off part of the blue, do that instead. So like, if it can be black, green underneath, or blue over top, and then
30
yellow
seconds.
underneath the whole thing.
Tell them, tell them.
You let them finish even if they run out of time.
You'll see.
Oh, you're either gonna let me explain it or not, because I don't have time. May I, or should we stop? So we should stop. We'll see how far I'm gonna bring Weston.
Tell him to bring the Lego with him.
Wes, come with you and with the Lego piece.
Thank you.
So,
Hold on to that hook.
we went a
Hold on
bit
to that
slow
hook.
there, let's see if at least what we were able to get in is accurate.
All right,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
so this, if you want to come over here by Greg. Sit this down. This is what you were supposed to build.
so far.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
And
this,
there is what you
just
got.
slip one back, but that's close.
So Noah,
Yes.
do you remember the last set of instructions you got?
Last set of instructions was in the back center portion of the flat blue piece. There was a tan window. In front of the tan window was a gray block, and then hanging off of the gray block was an 8-piece long, I forget the color piece, but that's it. And I didn't mention this green one, so I would.
So you wouldn't have been able to finish it.
That's pretty close.
But if we would have broken that up into,
Actually,
that was
you had
probably
that
2 steps worth
the
of info.
whole time.
Yeah.
And then you decided
We just said,
something-
oh, we got 30 seconds.
See how they said that half and half right there?
Yeah.
I had to move this back.
No, you haven't, right?
Yeah, that's
This
half
is
and half.
wrong.
That
Needs to be on
was
the
up
very
front the whole time, and
This was like this. I moved it back based on the last instruction.
yeah,
Interesting.
Man, we had it really close though.
but it was
All right.
spot on.
So-
Until then.
We're gonna do it one more time.
A different
You, as the director, you go redesign that.
Okay.
I know what I'm doing.
Now this time, you can talk.
side. Okay. You want to look at this about here?
Yeah, I'm cheating right now.
You cheat.
Absolutely.
How would you describe this?
Noah can ask questions.
Yep, and Noah, you can ask questions of Wes.
2 by 6s, 2 by 6s, 2 by 4s, 4 by 4s, single 4, single piece, 8, and then odd piece, gray piece, and 4 by 4.
Weird piece by great piece.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go just 2 by 4, 2 by 2, and color it and try this. That might be the best way. I'm allowed to talk to Wes.
All right,
right?
same amount of time, you still have
Can
only
you talk
5
to both
minutes.
or only him?
Can you
Greg can talk to Noah, you can talk to Wes.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna be able to see.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Why is this frustrating to crap out of you?
It's not, I'm trying
So the difference between
Done?
subordinates
Let me
being
know
allowed to verify assignments versus being told what to do.
Just in general, people being able to communicate no matter what level they are. Yeah. Yeah, it's not about support or.
It's pretty
It's not-
interesting because my,
Donna, you ready?
I'm ready.
It's not about.
I get to look at everything as an observer.
It's not about the hierarchy. It's just purely about communication.
Alright, so this is going to be built around the blue square. So you take your blue flat square, take your green 2 by 6, and place it underneath flush on the left side, your left.
Underneath, the blues on the bottom, greens on the bottom.
Green's on the bottom. Blue's not the base, so it should right now look like your blue square with the green flush on the left. Black is going to actually come at a right angle on the front side of the green one. So butt it up, flush on the front. There should be 4 bricks that hang off onto the side. Do you understand my meaning?
Black ones.
The black 2 by 6 or whatever?
I have 2 sets of 4 going to the right.
So the way it was described is I have the blue piece, I have a green piece that's flush underneath, and then the black piece actually sticks out.
I think that's what you just described here.
Okay.
I have the green piece, the black piece, and the
Yes.
blue piece on top.
If you put the yellow piece in the space,
Yellow piece.
there's a yellow, is there not a yellow?
Yeah.
If you take the yellow piece and turn over your thing, does it perfectly occupy the remaining space on the blue?
No.
Okay, that's what it needs to do.
So you
And
need,
you say the green and the black are at right angles,
that's what he's describing.
and they're flush with each other, they're on top of each other?
Correct, they should be at the same level.
Um, If the black doesn't connect to the blue, I understand. If the black doesn't connect to the blue base, that works.
So, I'm just trying to think, you have blue, green should only occupy this one corner, black should occupy the front half, but hang off of your right side, your front right side. And the yellow should be solid underneath
The
the blue.
yellow should be underneath the blue.
Yes, is that not feasible?
No, because the yellow is the same shape as the blue.
Big blue?
No.
Looks like big 4x4 blue, square,
Yeah, it's 8 by 8.
8x8, sorry.
Yeah, there's no way to have the black connect on a 90-degree angle.
Let me find out which side is hanging on. It's a long row or a short row?
Actually, I will order.
I remember that. We were supposed to, I was the antagonizer.
He got distracted.
Yeah, distractions are a part of it too.
We'll talk about it.
What do you mean you don't know what I mean? Which green piece were you using? That's the relevant question. Yeah, that was the breakdown. It was the smaller, like,
Oh.
green.
You said this was at a right angle.
Oh, you had it right there.
So then this.
You had it first.
All right, what they look like?
Yeah.
Just
So like
like
I was saying,
So
green,
that green the whole
you
time?
were picturing
Because
the
you
big
had
one, that was
that?
the thorn there.
Yeah, you missed
But
when I
the
said
yellow
light
couldn't
green.
fit because of that green
Yeah.
piece.
Because I kept coming back and going, how did you say the green one fits?
Light
And he
green
kept
was
going,
the most
it fits
important
easily,
part.
and I didn't realize there were two green ones. What's that?
Light green was the most important
Yeah.
part of that first build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like we established a language of use 2x2, 4x4, and then we immediately stopped using it.
Yeah.
All right,
Well, we learned something.
so,
Yeah, right. It went way better when we couldn't speak. That's very odd.
We're overanalyzing it at that point.
Well, after the three people talking about it.
Did the salesperson make the first puzzle?
yes, it was Dan from Hyundai. He's the one who made the first one for me.
I didn't want to make it, I really wanted to make it.
Bill, manage your base.
I almost made it similar, but I figured it'd be more challenging if I actually did change it.
You were right.
All right.
You're in the middle of it.
It's not long enough. Not long.
So, we're going to now, it's Donnie's turn. Donnie, what were your observations as far as clarity of the explanation of directions?
So the clarity, I thought was spot on.
That was accurate?
As that being very, very accurate. I think when Wes was explaining what was in front of him,
Mm-hmm.
especially the first time, knowing that Noah could ask no questions at all. It was careful, and I think it was pretty spot on.
You got to see the object as I was describing it.
I did. So I got to kind of see what you were explaining, but he couldn't ask any questions, and
Okay.
it was pretty neat. It was pretty
What
cool.
about when we could ask questions? So the clarifying questions that were asked.
So clarifying questions, once, well, Noah automatically started out with, this is how I identify the blocks, so that way they could communicate with, oh, okay, I understand how you're looking at this, even though you can't see it. And then they kind of started, as opposed, like, it was almost like Noah
So
said,
he
this is how I
created a
understand this."
visual between both parts of it,
Right.
even though he
By
couldn't, you're the one who
saying-
couldn't see anything.
Well,
And you created the visual.
Hey, these are 2x6s, these are, you know, the blue is a 4x4, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was close, honestly, if we could have got past that barrier of
That green
messing up
piece.
the green piece, we probably would have just finished.
so being able to ask which colors, which sizes, what else did you ask? To try to figure out where they were.
We just decided, you know, we'd say 2x6 or parameters and then.
Okay, so now he says the 2x6 goes this way in black, and then the 2x6 goes parallel this way, and then cross them all off with that long skinny blue one.
The hardest part for me was
Yeah.
taking
No.
in his information.
That's good enough for you?
Well, it depends, like, when, I remember him saying, and the second time around, I remember him saying, okay, you have your blue 8x8 piece on the front side, you're gonna put a green piece, and you're gonna put the black 2x6. And I don't know if he ever identified the measurement of the green piece, he may have, he may not have. Because I heard him say black 2x6, and I know there was a green 2x6, I put them immediately together in my head. So it might have hurt.
Did you say right angle to me?
Yeah.
That's where I
Yes.
said right angle, so that means.
Because I envisioned it,
Shape.
because I envisioned it as the long piece.
Right.
And it made a perfect right angle with those two pieces.
Yeah.
So if it was the long piece
If
and
you
the
did
black
that, there was no
piece.
way to get a yellow one underneath.
The
Yeah.
hardest part about you telling me what
So
your
the location of the pieces,
parameters were was tough.
Okay.
the location of them,
Yeah, well, yeah.
relevant. Alright, what about active listening skills?
Oh, man, I wish I could, I should just taken a picture of your face, man. Just the intensity.
Stoic.
I have video.
On Noah, yeah, like as he was listening.
He was so intense.
Yeah, he was very, very intense, trying to, like, visualize.
He was
what
I think I was trying to get the
was-
reflection off my eye.
Right.
He was
yeah.
sweating.
It's-
Your face was so red. So,
Thanks, can we get him a sticker for the effort?
yeah.
Sticker, I'll put 'em in.
So, Noel, what you just said was keeping you from being an excellent communicator, just became one of your strong suits in this activity?
Great listener, right there.
Yeah, I mean-
Great listener.
You took a lot of information at one time. Most
Yeah.
times I've seen this done, it was one piece go, one or two pieces go.
Mhm.
You sat there and tried to take half of it and bring it back.
But honestly, last time I took tabs on my active listening skills, it was a long time ago, so maybe they've progressed.
Well, Donnie, as his observer, did you progress?
Well,
You did a good job.
I think in the beginning it was very like point and shoot, and then setting it up and having more information. Having more information took, it was a lot more observation, I think, with trying to, hey, this is the real, this is absolutely it, you know. I think it took longer. We certainly made less trips, right?
Well, yeah,
And a lot more explanation, thinking about this is how it is.
being able to talk cost us time, because it was 4 questions that we didn't.
Well, I'm trying to describe something while you're telling me what your vision of it is. Now I'm trying to compute what your vision is to
Yeah.
describe it back to you.
And it's tough when you're just looking at it like, no, and I'm like, this is all in my imagination.
So now go back to the survey we did. Is there such a thing as too much information?
But, yeah. Without structure, when it's completely just like,
But you were both saying the same thing, right? You were both trying to describe the same pieces, and it went went from you,
But I had to use his descriptive words and not the ones that I would choose myself.
and now you have to try to communicate that back in a way that people
Knowing that
understand.
the end user has already verified what communication strategy they're gonna use, so
Yeah.
I'm adapting that to try to explain it.
Yeah, like, because when Wes was out there and Greg and I were in here, we're like, all right, why don't we just, the size and color, because I'm looking at them and I know what they are. And then when I came out, as soon as you said go, I said, okay, Greg and I talked, and we're gonna talk like 2x2, 2x4, and then give you the color and tell me where it goes, and he was like, oh,
Could
okay.
Could he made a list? Could he have had a list with him of all the pieces?
No,
That might, like, there's,
To me, simplifying it would have been shapes. Square, square, rectangle,
that's fair.
triangle.
So that might have overcome the green immediately.
Right.
all right, Donnie, what about body language? Whether it's positive or negative, so whether Wes got mad at Noah for not understanding what he was saying and threw him at him, or Noah got so excited that they got all the pieces together and he was going back for more information, started jumping up and down. I saw something Noah did.
I think body language all the way around was,
Oh, I did, I remember.
I want to talk about
I think pretty smooth, pretty consistent. I didn't see any negative, as far as frustrating or, I thought it was a working body language that just, it was pretty busy and it was pretty consistent for me. I didn't have eyes on any one given person
So
for
one
a
of the
long period of
things
time. I was
Noah
trying to
did,
observe it all.
one of the things Noah did when he was trying to describe it to Greg was he was using his hands.
Yeah.
If this color was here, then this is gonna create a right angle, then this is on top, and whether you were where he was doing it, whether you looked up or not,
I
he's
did
sitting
the
there and
same
he's
thing.
giving himself a visual
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah, I was
how
going,
these
okay, if
all
the
played
blue's a
out
square,
based off the
and
way it was
green
described.
sits on this side of the square, like just trying to.
Also, one thing I did was,
On the one where we weren't allowed to really talk, Wes gave me a lot of information, but I was like confident that I could give the information to Greg, but it was a lot. So as I walked through the doorway, I remember like shrugging my shoulders and shaking my hands out and taking a deep breath, like, okay, I need to focus to give this information in an organized way. I do remember doing that, but that's all. But that might have just been like, okay, I can focus and think.
What about tone of voice? Either when he was describing it, Greg was asking questions, Noah was explaining it, what do you think?
I thought that maybe as the time, like, you got a minute, you got 30 seconds, Noah just kept it pretty, it wasn't a hurried, it was pretty intense and pretty similar. It was very consistent. I don't think his tone changed much at all, especially when he was able to ask questions.
What about Greg or Wes? What about,
I thought it was very consistent as well. Just, it wasn't changing much, it wasn't hurried, it was pretty matter of fact, and maybe asking the same question over and over to make sure that it was getting right, but it wasn't changing much at all.
okay?
Do groups usually finish this task?
I've
They're
had,
really
the
close.
one I was in, they finished the first time without having to ask questions. The second time, they could not finish.
Was it correct?
The second time?
No, the first time, was the Lego actually correct?
Yes.
That's probably the only time that's ever happened.
It was, to be completely fair, it was a very, very easily designed Lego,
Oh,
but they still did it, they did it correctly, and they actually weren't even, I don't even think they were halfway when we let them ask questions. Because now that they had the ability to do that, now they're second guessing their original thought, they're second guessing what would be Noah.
Well, we
And
spent
to
a
make
lot
sure
of
they
time.
were
That's their own
correct, now it's,
interpretation.
so it's here,
Yeah.
so it's here, so it's here, and they spent more time asking those clarifying questions than attempting to build the object.
The one thing that got me, and if I'm out of pace here with your thing, it was when you would come out and tell us how much time is, I don't care how much time is left, let's try and get it done. But when you said that, it changed the way I was trying to describe things as well. And even though I've done this lesson before, it's like, it's very tough when somebody's telling me the time.
Oh,
Deadline.
Self-analysis, because I lost my observers, patience and frustrations.
That was, yeah, but I didn't wanna, portray that to him. I mean, I know he felt the pressure too, we were on the
So
same deadline.
You both just moaned and kind of, and shrugged. Greg, you didn't make a sound, you didn't move,
Not really.
nothing.
I was looking forward to completing it. I didn't know you were actually cutting time off.
Yeah,
So did it frustrate you when we said time was up?
Oh, yeah.
Did it frustrate you when, like the one part where Noah was trying to explain it to you and now you were telling him, well, I don't have that, it's not physically possible
Yeah.
for this piece to go with this piece.
No, I think that was real communication that would have led to the solution.
Yeah. Like, Greg and I realized, like, we're not talking about the same thing right now. And I said to him, I think I said, let me find out which side the black hangs off, if it's the front or the side.
And I never saw
We
it.
misidentified the mistake, but you never saw me again. Like, it was about the green, but still, I'll be right back.
Well, and I think one of the pieces you even said it was a 4 square. It's
Yeah.
like, no, it's 8 or, so one of the pieces weren't lining up the way you wanted it to.
Something, yeah,
And that was where,
Ugh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I started doing the math and going, okay, that's a 2x6, how is it even covered? I'm like, wait a second, I don't know what you're
you
talking
knew you were, when you came back out, you knew.
I knew something
You're
was
like,
wrong.
I had
We
something
just-
wrong.
We couldn't
You
identify.
can't be a 90
Maybe we could have started over,
It's
hey,
not
we,
the same size,
Say
right?
what you said.
so do you feel it was
Let's-
less or more frustrating first time, second time?
second time, it was more frustrating second
We
time.
gave you more tools, we gave you the ability to talk now.
We overused them. We were clearly like,
So it made you less productive in the same amount of time.
maybe, but it could have gone a different way. Maybe if we didn't have that miscommunication, we would have just finished.
Donnie, so they self-evaluated themselves on their patience and their frustrations. What did you see?
I can't get the intensity on Noah's face if he's listening to the instructions.
What?
Like the intensity on his face, the active listening was through the roof.
Hold my head.
Was that
Really?
frustrating or just trying to get it down? I don't know. I thought they did a really good job.
Domingo was frustrating at first.
So how did you like
I
your
didn't even
interruptions?
recognize.
I
I'm like,
forgot
why is
that
he
it
even-
was a
I know,
distraction.
I'm like, why is he even talking to him?
I
I'm like, this is,
forgot.
and you're
I looked it up at him one time,
Yeah.
and it was like,
yeah. So we were interrupted by the sales staff out there.
twice, they purposely put an
Twice.
interruption in. to try
And Noah's
use that
lucky
as a-
because I actually
But you
forgot.
planned
So it was,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
it wasn't up until about almost 4 minutes. It was at 3:55 on the clock when I remembered to get an interruption. And I said I'm back to back.
But with how late it was,
That's horrible.
that had me so
That's
irritated. I'm
what
like,
I'm
what is it? Domingo knows what we're doing. Why is he here?
So, yeah.
Well, I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
I forgot about that part. I'm thinking, why? Why would he do that?
You
That's
should-
what I was thinking.
Domingo walks right up in front.
But that happens in every day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was the,
So he
that was
walks
the,
right up behind Wes and he goes, Noah, when are you going to Hamburg? How long are you here for? And I just ignored him. Okay,
No, you looked up- you looked up.
I looked up and then I looked up and I didn't answer. He keeps talking. Like 10 seconds later, Domingo goes, yo, Noah. And I'm like, I looked at him and he goes, I said, Friday, it's my last day. And then boom, he looked back. Then Marsha came over and, hey, do you know anything about this key for the Wrangler that's sitting out front? I said, oh, wait a second, I know what this is. Like,
Yeah, and
it
you
was-
answer
I said,
very
I know what this
nicely.
is.
Get right back to it.
The first time Domingo.
I didn't recognize it the first time.
Well,
But
she
what's-
comes in, I said, what happened to Noah? He goes, he got distracted. I'm like, what?
But your question now in here was what I was dealing with out there, like,
Where? We just need the green piece.
I wanted to like,
Wes's look was immediately like,
So he was frustrated by,
all that.
he's trying to talk to you and then he got
It
interrupted.
was so good the way it happened though, because it was like, are you kidding?
I didn't realize you'd use them. I was
You should see
expecting.
his
That was
face.
great.
They played that
A real
very well.
person. Marsha's
Well, by
like,
well,
yeah.
they immediately stopped what they were doing, came right over to you, and I like that they played it in every scenarios. That did catch you off
We were
guard.
so intent on doing what we were doing.
Noah did this double take, he was like, are you kidding me? I'm doing something right now, like you just need to look on his face. I thought he was just gonna grab a piece and throw that.
We're busy. Domingo, you got a lot of stuff going on all the time. I'm like, Domingo, why are you even interrupting? You don't do this type of stuff. Like, I couldn't figure it out.
And they didn't even, they're like, yeah, sure, no problem, I got this.
That was
Over your
very
way.
good.
We were so focused that we didn't even realize that it was supposed to be.
Right,
I
yeah.
didn't realize, and then it dawned on me, and I thought, okay, this is.
I remember when Marcia came over, I'm like,
Oh, they got us. Did you see me?
So,
Because they came right in between you guys, and you started talking, I'm thinking,
all right, Donnie, so if you had suggestions for the three of them, serving the three of them, what would they be?
I really have no idea.
That's fair.
You know, I thought they tried hard. Especially in the beginning, he was taking on a lot, but when he came back to Greg and the way he was explaining it, he was explaining so much detail, and he put it together exactly like he said. And then he went, and then when he came back, he continued to put it together the same way, and there was something with one block, how it wasn't fitting underneath, where he took and moved it back slightly because of something that was said, but I don't
So
know
what,
exactly what it was. So I think they did a great job.
do you guys know what he's referring to?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were.
The pink piece, that was
Slide
instead of
So-
flush,
Slope,
it went back one.
But it was based on the next description that came in,
Right.
not on the initial, because the initial had it all correct.
But it was a lot. It was, he was getting a lot of information. And I have seen this where it was 2 or 3 blocks at a time, 2 or 3 blocks. There was a lot of running back and forth where it's detail oriented.
Which would have been faster.
Suggestions?
So do you
Could it
think
be-
that would be a suggestion for yourself?
Also, if he would have set up closer,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, time in general.
like I could have set the table right at the door.
It was a setup to begin with.
Yeah, we were set to fail.
We were working on straight.
So the way that works, you pick that.
So your environment called you, or caused you failure?
No, so the parameters of the activity caused, obstacles.
Okay,
Time, not being in the same room, communicating through another person, not having the visual, they're all just roadblocks.
Punch obstacles.
Not being on the
Overcome those now.
same page, not
what are
having a prompt,
suggestions to overcome?
making sure that we use the same descriptive words for the same components, we're not exposed to this stuff all the time,
So being able to describe things similarly, does that go along with consistency that maybe we're lacking? So maybe we give instruction one way, now someone's taking it another way, now we're mad that it wasn't done the way we asked.
But if I ask them to go grab a, classic silver metallic Venza, they would know exactly what that looks like and where it's at, but if you knew,
Exactly.
you would never know. What the hell is classic silver?
Should go with the 19s on it.
So now I ask, I'm up at Toyota, I ask Donnie, run down to Hyundai and get me a Bluetooth on. You can do that, right? You can bring that back to me, but I need it delimited. You brought me an SE.
And you need a dark blue on the light blue.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
What
green
about
piece,
the-
that was our green piece.
And I needed a dark interior, not a gray. I needed black, not gray.
Perforated interior is the one with the,
Yeah.
the
I need mud
panoramic
guards,
roof.
yep, I need the roof, I need,
Absolutely.
so all those little factors. Now, he got exactly what I asked, he did exactly what I said.
But what you're visualizing is different.
So what are your suggestions?
Specific,
Being specific is important.
take time to confirm understanding.
Even if you're on the time limit?
I have a tendency to write a lot down. That wasn't the capability we had. Greg was talking about, hey, what if you had a list? So that way, while I'm speaking to you, you'd be able to identify something.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
so-
it's using all the communication tools we have at our disposal,
Right.
whether it be a picture or a phone or an email or a text or something that's more descriptive than just go get this with this. Unless there's only one option.
So if there would have been no parameters, get it from point A to point B without you two physically getting out of your seats and moving those blocks,
Or time frame.
what would you have done?
Well, I would have been a little more careful with the wording.
You can get it to them any way you want.
Oh, any way I wanted.
But it has to go through Noah.
I would have used imagery. I'd have sent Noah a picture from my phone to his phone so he could show him exactly what I'm talking about.
If you would've made me a cross-section picture and I could've showed it to Greg, it would've been done.
A CAD drawing of it or something.
It's like, here's the base, here's the side profile, here's the top view, here's what we need to know.
That would be. It's also knowing what tools you have at your disposal too. You never said I couldn't hand it to Noah and give it to
I
him.
didn't. The only thing I did say is for, who asked if, you asked if you could draw the pictures. I
Yeah.
said no.
And
And Greg couldn't talk.
so my kids might have.
You
done
did
better
what we
than
wanted
us.
you to,
Yeah.
but,
There's other ways to get there.
so think about your clarifying questions. They didn't have to be to each other, they could have been, I was with you, they could have been to me. No, you could have picked those all up and,
I think my
Bill.
clarifying questions created confusion in some cases, though,
well,
because I was confused and instead of just trying to say what I was told, I was trying to gain clarity so that I could say it in my own words.
and you
But
didn't
it
do
worked better when I was just not necessarily using Wes's words,
Yeah.
but not getting in the way.
It was the telephone game. It was a breakdown of communication using your own descriptive words.
Your
Instead of-
perception.
So do you guys remember when we started this class that Bonnie said this used to be 5 full days and then they spread it out to 10.5 days? Because how long can an adult retain information? What is that retention? Like an hour,
Yeah.
right?
Or-
So could a suggestion be taking less pieces at a time, taking less information? I know you said it would make running back and forth, but if you were coming in the,
Or having more time.
Where do you want to show your loss? With the time running or with the time explaining?
You imagine building a Death Star from the Lego Star Wars this way? Take us to like 2000.
that's in 2.0.
We'd be speaking
Just melt it into a giant ball.
All right,
E5, turn.
so what's the importance of giving clear and concise directions?
The correct message that we want to send or to be received.
Paints a better picture.
And what about making sure that your directions are understood? No, you said that you spent more time trying to clarify it in your own mind so you could explain it clearly. Do you think you explained it clearly?
He reiterated it to me.
Yeah, I mean, I did. What happened is we just were talking about a different piece. What would have helped out is if I could just see the piece.
So when
I
Greg
would've
couldn't
seen what it
talk,
was.
how did you know he was understanding what you said?
Because he was confused, and then I realized that what I was saying wasn't the problem, it was what I was asking him to do,
How did you know he was confused?
because he told me he was.
When he couldn't talk?
Oh, when he couldn't
Yeah.
talk, he was not confused.
You were allowed to talk though, weren't you?
The first time I asked, and she told me not to.
Yeah, he got one question out, and he had to stop.
I didn't realize.
The first time, though, it went smoothly. I would have, in his body language, I did see a couple like eyebrow raises or looks of confusion, but it was just, oh, wait a second, maybe I misstated
Over
where
it.
I'm just, no, not necessarily
Oh, you're in.
misstated. Yeah, he nodded. Because like I tell him to do something and he go, I don't know about that, and I go, well, it made sense to me, so something just happened, so.
So you could tell based off his facial expressions
In the first one,
in the first one. Okay. What about the pressures of being time sensitive? So you already said if you had more time, you could have stood out there all day till you understood it, right? You still would have took as much information at one time? Okay, would you have taken more? Would you have figured out how to put that whole thing together before you came here?
I personally think I would have taken as much as I was comfortable with regardless of the time. I don't think I would have edited the amount that I carried back and forth. Like I think maybe 3 pieces is probably what we were doing at once, maybe 4.
I think 3 would have worked
I
well.
think I was comfortable with 3 or 4 of the reps.
So did that time-sensitive pressure, you think it affected your accountability and your trust?
Based on how long it took those guys out there, it had to be distractions.
They didn't get distracted till the last minute
Yeah.
of the game.
It was,
I didn't-
it was
it was
him
supposed to be the
reiterating to me
entire
what I
time.
was explaining.
I was supposed to be the entire time, and I forgot to get the distraction until they walked back out there the last time. And then I got one, and another one.
So in the
In the first one, it was a question of, do you rush it and half-ass it to get the finished product? Or do you, even though the time, so like, it's an unrealistic time frame for the most part, or that's at least how we felt about it, because we would have wished we had more time. But I think we were all on the same page with, let's make sure that we firm up what we talked about instead of like, oh, and then you just throw this one on, because how long would it have been if we added 5 pieces that were just whatever?
So you never told us though that it had to be completed. You never said anything about getting it done in the time frame. But human nature takes us to think and believe it all has to be done in that time frame without even asking them. We assume it needs to be done in that time frame. It could have been left unassembled because we didn't have the correct information to do it correctly. Somebody might have rather have it unassembled so they don't have to do the work over again.
So if, go back to when we were at school, teacher hands you a test, says you have 1 hour to complete this, go. She didn't tell you, well, you have 1 hour, go. You're going to assume in that 1 hour class you have to finish your test, right? So would you assume in a 5-minute time limit I give you, you should have to get,
That's my assumption, but it was never ever said that way.
so I could have been clear.
Oh, that's true.
Did anybody think about that before?
No.
Or you didn't even think about it?
I didn't.
We all
So could it all
assumed
came
this,
back to
I
me
know.
given the initial instructions? So I'm just
Initially,
as
I thought we were
accountable.
gonna finish it within 5 minutes. That's what I thought. Finish it within 5 minutes.
Finish it, the task, the building. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah.
So now go back to my question. Do you need all of these for communication to work?
Not necessarily. Maybe.
Why? But think about it, when he couldn't talk to you, when you guys couldn't talk,
Well, you still had 93%.
you still had 93%.
Uh-huh.
But that, when you went over to him, he said, we do this, this is how Greg and I talked
The
about it
words
with
actually
this.
degraded the communication.
So maybe that little 7%, those little couple words you could get out and actually talk back to him. So now you have no time limit, you can use your body language, you can use your words, you can use your tone of voice. So if I split you up again right now,
I had no time limit, we're going piece by piece. Because it would be right.
I wouldn't be able to describe it that way, piece by piece, because
Well,
here's the green block.
maybe not literally.
Well, how do you know which way
It's
does
a
it sit?
smaller scale,
Yeah.
checking our work every.
So I have feedback on it, but I think we should probably do it after the thing.
all right, so we're gonna do supplemental reading. You'll turn to pages 32 and 34, or 32 to 34. So, we'll take a few minutes, we'll quick go over them. I know we touched on them a little bit before. Anyone want to read for me active listening skills?
Sure. It allows a person to ask for or provide more information to test or summarize your understanding. Clarifying tools, a type of active listening skill, includes asking open-ended questions, prompting, rephrasing, making empty statements, and the use of good body language.
Okay, so we're going to tie these in to your homework assignment, okay? So, read over them, open any questions, clarifying questions, and over the next week, what I want you to do is I want you to observe, okay? It's a communication observation assignment. So kind of like Donnie did for the Legos, look for a situation, communication between two coworkers. How were the directions given to one or the other? How did they communicate back and forth? What was their body language? What was their active listening skills like? Okay? And even if you have to ask them, so you don't look like you're spying on them, hey, I'm doing this for ACT, do you mind if I sit here and just kind of observe you two discussing this? Okay? And then we'll go over them next week. I know we went over in time, I think, but I was really glad you guys got so into the Legos, but thank you very much. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.